Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. It's me again. I am finally catching up with all the questions that have been coming in. There's absolutely so many of them, but I am determined to get caught up with as much as I possibly can and try and make some of the answers shorter. So, we had a question come in from Elaine, and this was regarding mediumship and mediums, and can mediums guarantee who's coming through? And I think in order to answer that, I'd like to kind of say, well, there's an old saying that there is no guarantees in life. Okay, the only guarantee that there is in life is that you'll pass at some point. Now, it is a big question because I've seen, I've heard a lot of mediums. I've watched mediums as well who will actually, in platform, I've seen them say, who do you want to speak to? And that's not very professional, and it's not very good, because at the end of the day, when there's a connection from a loved one there, that loved one will give you information. They'll know that information is coming through will be for that individual or the family or whatever it is. A medium cannot call upon a spirit. That's almost like conjuring. And at the end of the day, when you actually call upon a spirit, or you're almost conjuring, like I said, you're almost conjuring them. You don't have any guarantee who's going to come through, and that, I mean, it could even be a bad spirit. Because you're asking, and so the thing is there's never any guarantees who's going to come through. And a lot of mediums, a lot of professionals will actually say this. They'll say, look, I can't guarantee who's going to come through, because at the end of the day, we don't just sit there and say, okay, look, I'm looking for Uncle Willie to come through and speak to me now. Who do you want to speak to? Uncle Willie? Right, I'm going to get Uncle Willie. Because for a start, when someone says, they're guaranteeing who's they're going to come through, they can almost make a psychic connection to you. They're going to connect into your auric field, and they're going to pick up some information. So you can never really guarantee that. It's really impossible to do that, but what I will say is that when you have arranged a reading with a medium, if the medium is the chosen medium, spirit already have had a play in it. They've already had their hand in it. You don't know that they put it into your mind to choose that individual medium, or that they influenced you in a certain way to choose that medium. I've had many people who have come for sittings, and they've said, look, either you could be recommended, but I've had a few people that would come through for private sittings, and they'll say, well, I was guided to you in some way. I was searching, and all of a sudden I heard about you, or I seen an article you were in, I heard you on a radio show, I heard you on whatever it was, and they have then this intuitive connection, this intuitive feeling that maybe I should reach out to that person. So a lot of mediums, a lot of professional mediums, when they are, they can put themselves out there and do a lot of marketing and all that kind of stuff, but really, in essence, what I believe, or what I perceive, is that spirit choose the medium doesn't choose the spirit. Okay, so you can never guarantee who's coming through, and we don't conjure, we don't ask for medium, we don't ask for that particular connection of that person, because we don't want to make a psychic connection. We want to make sure that we're connected to spirit at all times, and two, we don't want to open ourselves up to anything that's maybe going to play with us a little bit. And I'm not saying anything really nefarious, but you have a grounded spirit out there, or spirits that just want to have a little bit of fun at your expense. They can do that, and they can get the information to give you that right information. So one of the things that I do is, and a lot of other professional mediums do, is they will meditate, and they will open themselves up, and they will allow spirit to draw close. And by doing that, they're allowing the loved ones on the other side to draw close and to start communicating with us, to start giving us the information, whether it be by clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience. But we don't actually guarantee who it is that's coming through, because at the end of the day, spirit's controlling it. You got to remember, we're a telephone receiver. We're just a medium. We're in between that thing. So we're just receiving information and giving the information to the sitter. And there's been many times that people will go for readings, and they don't necessarily get who they want to come to, who they want to hear from, but they actually get the message they get is what they actually need at that particular time. It is the real message that they're needing, and Spirit know that, and so Spirit have already made up those plans. And a great deal of time, mediums will be able to pick up information before the sitter even arrives, or for instance, if you know, a lot of the times you know that this sitter has maybe lost a loved one, and they've maybe told you that it's their father or something, but you still cannot get carried away with knowing that, because at the end of the day, many spirits might come through, and different spirits they're not expecting, and so you've just to be a receiver. We receive things, we don't call out for things, we don't try and capture things. It's that analogy of being under the waterfall. We allow Spirit to come to us, we don't force that in the other direction, because the flow comes a natural way from Mother Nature. It flows naturally, and so the Spirit flows naturally. You can't go against the flow of Spirit, you have to go with it. And so no, we do not guarantee, and we cannot guarantee who's coming through, but your loved ones will know. They will know that they've made a date, and they're going to keep that date. And if it's the right medium that's been chosen, which I'm sure it is, then that medium will receive the information. The Spirit will give the information. It's up to that medium's development to be able to discern that information, and to be able to put that information and deliver that information in a professional way that helps the individual. So whilst we don't call upon them, we do make ourselves a vessel to be able to receive them, and they will already know this. So it's never ever think. You've got to also think that if you're looking for a particular person to come through and they don't come through, don't be sad about it, because the reality is the Spirit's probably given you something that you really need at the time, or maybe that they need to pass over to you that will make sense at a later date. So as long as you're still getting evidence, of Spirit coming through, and it's not just generalization or generalized chit chat, that could be anybody, then take that on. That's a blessing, because they've actually communicated with you and they're giving you this information for a reason. So we won't be calling out to them. And any mediums that stand on platform and say, who do you want to speak to, doesn't show themselves as really professional at all, because the minute they do that, they're going to make a psychic connection to you, and they may get some information directly from your morphogenetic field, from your auric field. And so we want to receive Spirit and not actually make any psychic connections and make any promises, because remember, when you go to see a medium, a professional medium, it's always an experiment, and it's the time that they're given is an experimental process. The medium is sitting there and they're developing and given their time to be a vessel to receive information and vibration from the spirit world, to be able to pass on to those who are grieving. So don't go expecting, go into a reading with loads of expectations. And any medium who says that they can guarantee that they're going to bring through your Uncle Frank or your grandfather Bob or William, then that's not the case, because that doesn't happen like that. And certainly we don't call upon spirits and conjure spirits. That's very dangerous. I hope that makes sense, guys. We could go on and talk about this forevermore. There's lots of ways that we can look at this, and there's lots of different avenues to explore with this, but that's just a very quick basic rundown of why really we don't call or conjure spirits in any way. We go with the flow of spirit, which is just like being under that waterfall and allowing the information to flow to you naturally from the spirit world with love and with grace and with compassion. And then we're able to discern that information and therefore then give that out to the requisite receiver. So we will never do that, and you should be very aware or wary of mediums that claim that they can do that. God bless, guys. Keep the questions coming in. I promise I will answer them. Even though this was a quick one, I've got loads more to come and loads more answers. God bless.